First thing to decide is what kind of journalist do you want to be?
I knew I really wanted to be a journalist on September 11th.
I covered a high school basketball championship game, and I was not a sports writer. And I wasn't even very excited about having this assignment.
And around the fourth grade, I was reading a lot of Superman comic books, and it seemed like a pretty exciting life. Clark Kent, the Daily Planet, Jimmy Olsen, the photographer.
As we saw the towers fall, our internship coordinator said, go out and get color.
And the game was won on a last-second shot taken farther than from midcourt. I mean, it was literally a throw it up and hope.
You know, there are more days like that than I can count.
Trying to find the most outrageous lawyer in our area, and it was just a great experience because one, I had to find, and I had to talk to a lot of people and say, who's everybody think is the craziest lawyer who was out there, and we finally found this guy who was a criminal defense lawyer who was just funny and smart and vulgar and dirty and extremely successful.
I've had people charge at me, try to chase me off.
Went down to Miami and I covered the trial for the last 3 days and then covered the verdict and wrote a long takeout on Ted Bundy's life and times, and that won a Hearst Award. That was a good day.
I feel like life is always throwing different things at people. So as long as there's still a human experience, there's still different stories to tell.
Journalism will always be around, and here's why.
Journalism has both a cultural and an economic value.
As long as people can see and hear, they're going to want to be consuming the news. They're going to be hungering for information, and that's something that's timeless.
People have always turned to people to tell them what's going on in the world. Even before there were newspapers, there were town criers and smoke signals and all that sort of thing. So if there was journalism, in a matter of speaking, before newspapers, there will be journalism even after there are newspapers.
But I also think that we'll see people being more creative in how they report things because they've got to find ways to stand out.
People want their news more quickly. They want it more concisely. They're not willing to spend a lot of time reading it.
How do you engage a complicated story in a 140-character world?
It's about being able to not just write a story, it's about being able to, and not just tell a story, it's being able to get beneath the surface to tell a story that means something and that really shows how someone it truly is. Not how they say they are, but how they truly are.
A lot of people are happy with good enough instead of great, and so you have to explain to people, don't let good get in the way of great.
I'm optimistic in the long run.
People always need to know something, what's going on, right? Somebody has to provide that content. People can aggregate all day long, but if they don't have anything to aggregate, what do? They don't have a site, right?
There has never been a healthier time for practicing journalism. The challenge and the difference is those of us who practice it have to do it in different ways, and those ways change almost hourly.
Don't focus on the technology. That's only the tip of the iceberg. What's really happening is a fundamental change in how Americans relate to each other and thus communicate with each other. And because we're in the communication business, we have to adapt to that change too.
I always think the best people are going to find jobs. The people who've gone out and they got experience, they get clips, you work hard, you're going to end up finding a job.
Being nervous is good. You should always be nervous.
Do more than get your feet wet. Dive in, because the only way to really learn how to do this is to do it. I mean, it's great to be in your classroom and have Professor Foley and others teaching you how to do it, but then it's really important to take what he teaches you and to go out and put it into practice.